Hello there, members. This will be a quick video, I promise. It's going to be the quickest one I've ever recorded. Below or above this video, you should see a link to my draft trainer track profiles winter jumps. Hurrah! I can hear the screams of excitement from here. It's a work in progress, obviously. I'm going to try and get it done as quickly as I can. Each track is taking about 30 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on how much digging I have to do. Yeah, there's 6 tracks there so far. I suppose the purpose of this video is kind of 2 things. A lot of you are quite experienced on the stats and trainer stats front, and you can have a flick through if you want, and any comments or things you think could improve it, or I don't know, feedback, whatever. There might be the odd angle that I haven't thought about because I have added the odd new one, which is the other part that I want to discuss. So yeah, if you've got any feedback, do post it below in the comments under this post. And the other thing I want to do, most of you are familiar with the layout and the template and etc. I just want to touch on a couple of new things that I've introduced, and kind of the thinking behind the approach. So the main core hasn't changed. It's focused on handicaps. The only non-handicaps that the stats look at are National Hunt flat races, and that is the first change where I have last year's guide just looked at all National Hunt runners and trainers records. This time I'm focusing on those that are having their first career start, those that haven't been on the racetrack under rules before, just to kind of bring a bit more focus. And in truth, bar one big price winner for Mickey Hammond up at Wetherby, which was a first-time starter, I think, so he should hopefully still be included. If you strip that out of the overall National Hunt flat results, they didn't do that well, really. They're generally short the prices, they're generally at the top of the market, and there isn't too much room for manoeuvre. And of course, most of them are so lightly raced, they don't appear on any of the strategies, any of the advised strategies, and the stats are never healthy enough to be on the elite squad. So I've tinkered around with that just to see if that produces anything of more interest. Then the main core is the same, the top 3. We look at all handicaps. Now the all handicap, handicap hurdles and handicap chases, that ignores and strips out novice handicaps. That's deliberately. So a couple of reasons. One is because novice handicaps are generally a different type of beast, a lower quality, horses that as yet haven't shown much, and most of them, a lot of them, won't as yet have won. Hence they're running in novice handicaps. And the other thing is it makes the stats a bit different. I think a lot of handicap stats out there in the general kind of public, in kind of other sources, I think would include all handicaps, including novice handicaps. So it helps us focus, and of course, as well, reduces the number of race types we're looking at in general, and focus can be good. So we've got all handicaps, and I'll flick through one of the tracks in a minute. That's handicap hurdles and handicap chases combined, then handicap hurdles, then handicap chases. I've included novice handicaps in this bit. Last year, a couple of trainers in particular, I'm doing this from memory, John Joe O'Neill at Huntington and Phil Kirby at Wetherby, I think, fired in a few too many winners for my liking in novice handicaps on the basis of already having decent stats for the track in whether it was all handicaps or handicap hurdles, whatever. So I've put that in. It makes me look at it separately. I look at novice handicaps separately collectively. If there's any trainers that stand out, break them down by hurdles or chases or whatever. And hopefully that may add to the pot, because there are some decent stats for the odd trainer. The bonus report for last year just looked at novice handicap chases. This will include novice handicap hurdles as well. I should note there has been a change to the novice handicap program, I believe, where the handicapper isn't going to punish horses for finishing close to winners. I don't think. I haven't got on top of the rules, but I think it's quite a big change which could make such chases more competitive. I think that was novice handicaps, unless it was just novice chases. I'm not 100% sure, so maybe I've just spoken there and I had no need, but I will dust up on that particular change to the rule book. So yeah, that's the top section, quite straightforward. I try and aim, well, 3 is the maximum for each bit. to help bring focus, but I won't include trainers for the sake of it. So yeah, I'll try and look at the best 3 stats for the last 3 years and up to 2017, last 3 full years, so 14, 15, 16 and 2017 to date. We then get on to micro angles, and these stats again strip out novice handicaps. They're only looking at handicap hurdles and handicap chases, no novice handicaps. Those stats are stripped out. Again, we're just looking at handicaps. There's no non-handicaps influencing these stats. Trainer jockey combo, straightforward class, record in certain class, distance. Going, I tend to try and focus on extremes. That isn't always the case because some good stats do jump out, but generally I want soft or heavy. And heavy the better, or good to firm. So kind of the extreme ends, which obviously helps with finding qualifiers and interchangeable weather. But of course, some trainers do target certain tracks, and their horses do better in certain conditions at certain tracks for whatever reason. There are reasons, so I'm just I won't go into them too much. And then micro angles 2, which is where I've added a couple of things. You will see there's a couple of behavioural changes or things that trainers may do that I've influenced, that I've introduced. So you've got distance move. So if a trainer moves a horse up or down in distance, and that would be a reason for an improved run, hopefully. And there's clearly plenty of logic there for why they would target certain tracks. Class move, similar. Especially those dropping down in class, but then even those moving up who may be progressing through the ratings. Handicap hurdle debut and handicap chase debut were there last season or last year. So were horse runs this season. So was horse runs in 90 days zero. That's looking obviously at those that turn up at the track fit and they target certain tracks with horses that have that they've got fit at home. The final introduction is days since run. I wanted to see if there are any stats that stand out for rest patterns. And whether trainers target certain horses after certain rest patterns in certain races at certain tracks in handicaps, which would make sense, especially if they have a certain training regime of how they train horses in terms of their intensity and cycles and everything else. So that is the template that I have been using for the 7 tracks that follow that I've done so far. You can flick through them. I will look, I mean, Aintree's always been a bit kind of short on stats. There's a few guiding principles which I can touch on a later date. In general, 20% strike rate is my cutoff. 2 winners, if 2 winners are included, I mean, because they're small stats pools, it will be from 10 bets generally, and at least a 50% win or play strike rate. And in general, I want to be focusing on those that have 5 winners, but there aren't any kind of fixed rules. It's very much on feel. You'll see with the Tizard. I will record another video at a future point where I actually go through and look at one of the tracks and how I research them for those of you interested in horse race space and such research, and that will enlighten things. But I kind of go on, there's a few things that I use to guide me, especially when looking through the records of the trainers over recent years, and the placed horses and the odds and everything else. So that's that really. I go through all of the template, each one at a time, and if nothing stands out, then there's none, and so on and so forth. And there's some interesting stats as always, and you can flick through those till your heart is content. But yeah, starting to take shape. I will endeavour to get this done within the next couple of weeks, and that is that really. Under 10 minutes. Blimey, should I talk for another minute? No. I will leave that there. Yeah, any questions, any feedback, positive, room for improvement, whatever, post below. And that is that for this shorter video than usual. So until the next time, this is me saying bye.